Hello, and welcome to the ADHD Girls podcast with me, Laura.
And me, Claire.
Are you sure about that?
Me, Claire, me, Laura.
So today we're going to talk about mainly being ADHD and adapting to change or struggling with change, because I find that's all it's a sticking point for me. Any change and I think a lot of people with ADHD or autism or anything on the spectrum can really struggle with.
So how you cope with change, how you go about making change.
How you perceive it, all that. But first, we're going to go to how, we do this every week, how our ADHD has shown up for us this week. And for me, I've been in a calmer place mentally. And I feel I'm a bit more in charge of my ADHD. So my ADHD is listening to me. We're kind of working together. And I struggle when I'm not in a good place mentally with doomscrolling at night, and then I don't get enough sleep, and then the cycle repeats, and you're just kind of tired all day, and you know you need to change. But so this kind of couple of days I've been able to make that change of I'm in charge. I'm going to put my phone away, go to bed early. I'm making the call. My ADHD brain is like, what are you sure about this? I'm like, yeah, no, we're going to bed. Actually sleeping and switching off. So I listen to these different nighttime delta wave things on YouTube. And it's meant to lower your heart rate. It's meant to get your brain waves going into sleep mode. I don't know if it helps or not, but it's helping me. So I don't know if it's a placebo or not, but it's getting me in a good place mentally.
And are you listening to them on headphones, earphones?
No, I just have my phone on and I have the speaker, not very loud, kind of halfway. So it's not overwhelming you, but it's just loud enough that it's like, yeah, this is a good space for me. And as I'm kind of doing my facial skincare in the evening, that's when I'm listening to it. So it's really winding me down. And then when I get into bed, I'm still not falling asleep straight away, but I do notice a difference.
Yeah.
So what about you, Claire? Has ADHD shown up for you?
I would say that I rediscovered my love of spin classes. So I went back to spin last Sunday and I absolutely love it. I love the challenge of it. I love the fact that my body's saying, stop, it's too much, but my brain's like, no, it's actually really good. You'll love it. It's a 45-minute class, but it's just, get those endorphins going, get the dopamine firing. So yeah, I'm really happy that I've went back to spin class and hopefully I'm going to do it again this week. It's really weird because I wouldn't normally I would hate being in a room full of other people, sweaty, loud music, lights, being shouted at, but because it's in the right environment, because I'm doing an activity that I enjoy.
It's on your turn. It's on you want to go.
And there's a deadline, so it only lasts for 45 minutes. So I know that it's going to finish and I'm doing an activity that I love. But yeah, I would never enter that room if I wasn't doing that, because it just sounds like it's being shouted at, sweaty, smelly.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah. So it just goes to show that, sensory is very much depends on what activity you're doing.
And I think this kind of goes good into change, because you've not been for spin for a while, have you?
No.
So what made the change, do you think, where you were like, right, I am ready for spin?
Probably because I've been so tired recently. I've been training for a run and that's kind of over. So I'm like, oh, right, now I've got a bit more energy to do
so you got
something
the momentum?
Different. Yeah.
Okay. Because I find with ADHD, change can be, to me, such a block.
Yeah.
And I think previously we've spoken about where you will deep dive, you will research, you will look at every scenario if you're thinking of doing whatever it is. And then you can still feel, decision fatigue or something, where you're like, okay, I've analysed everything, but I'm still not doing or making a change or create it or whatever it is. You can feel in that analysis paralysis, I think, as well, where, and I think speaking to people with ADHD or autism, this seems to be quite a common thing. And I kind of think, well, we've spoken before how our brains are more quantum, where we, instead of thinking one thing, it will kind of go into 1,000 things, and then that overwhelms you and you're still then going, I'm not sure. But I think for me, it's that actual getting that momentum and doing something you've maybe never done before or you haven't done for a long time. So you're out of the loop and it's doing something where you're like, well, it's a bit like just going for a walk sometimes. If you've not done it for a while, it becomes a big thing because it's out of habit.
Yeah.
And I think this is why habits are so important, because the second you step out and you think, oh, I haven't done that for a while, it becomes like a big thing of, oh, I haven't done that.
Yeah.
It's a bit like when I remember when I used to run and I hadn't run for a while, and then putting those trainers on became a big thing of like, oh my God. And you think, well, it's not, because if you were just carried on, once you lose that momentum, your brain can kind of then almost go into a panic mode almost of, oh my God, are we doing this? Are you sure we should be doing this?
Well, it's really hard to get started. Task initiation is something that I struggle with massively.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, if I want to make a change, I used to beat myself up because I would do these massive days, weeks, hours long deep dive into all these different scenarios, because I feel that we can see so many different opportunities or outcomes, like you're saying, this quantum computer. So I sort of beat myself up a bit, like, why can't you just make a decision? But now that I know I'm ADHD, I'm like, well, okay, you're never going to make the right decision, but you're never going to make the wrong decision as long as you have done a decent amount of research. Because for me, I need to do that research. I am curious. I can get distracted. I can go down side quests, rabbit holes. And it's really, really important for me, if I've got to make a decision, that I do spend a lot of time on it. And then give myself a deadline, say, right, now sit and leave it to bed now. Because whatever I choose to do after that, I've done my due diligence. And that's what's really important. So I guess the difference between being diagnosed and not being diagnosed is previously I would have just gone in a massive cycle of like blaming myself, going, why can't you just decide? This is so hard. Whereas now I'm like, that's literally how your brain works best. You know you need to do a lot of research in something. You know you can pick something up very, very quickly and get very subsumed in it. So give yourself the time to do that. Say you've got to make a decision between a few different outcomes. Do that, and you'll feel a lot more at peace about finally making a decision.
Yes, I do bullet points as well sometimes of like, well, this is what we'll do if I do that. This is what I'll do with that. But I still find I'm at that point of, in my mind, I think I want to make the right decision, but then I don't know what the right decision is.
Yeah.
And again, you're kind of going round and round in circles. So this is why, for me, it's so important to have that soundboard where you've got someone else to talk to, because they will have the bird's eye view of whatever it is you're doing, because you're so stuck in that going around in circles. You're so detailed. Oh my God, but what if this? What if that?
And trying to make sure you've covered all bases.
Yeah, my brain as well is trying to keep me safe. So it's then kind of over exaggerating certain things. Oh my God, but what if, worst case scenario where I think that's not realistic, but my brain's now thinking about it. Now I have to go along with this nonsense, but it's what it is. And I think it's so important then it's now just me recognizing that of, I know this is my brain. It's trying to keep me safe. This is what it does. It's okay. But then it's speaking to someone who you feel safe, that you can trust about whatever it is. And it's going to sound weird. You know what? There's a thing now with ChatGPT. Now, I use it sometimes. It's good as a soundboard and all like ideas, but it's terrifyingly can be addictive. And there was a TV show I was watching where online people use it so much, and they can have ChatGPT psychosis now. There's a whole thing about this, because I think, but it shows, I think, the loneliness or the fact that people don't have someone to speak to, and you've got this tool that can be used for sounding off. And I can see why it become addictive, because it's like, oh God, I know someone who is literally every single day they pay for the premium version of it. And they're just on it all the time. Now, it's not good or it's not a bad thing, but it's just that, I don't know, it's not a real human. But I think, does it matter if it's giving you what you need? But I think it's just highlighting how in a matter of years, our lives have changed with technology, how we utilize technology. But it's just being mindful of the information you're giving it and knowing what you're doing with the information you're getting from it. Because there was a TV show I watched where there was a guy with a crossbow who broke into Windsor Castle to kill the Queen. And he was talking to a chatbot. This is obviously years ago, not ChatGPT, a different one. And he was telling the chatbot, oh, this is what I'm going to do. And the chatbot was encouraging him because that's what they are programmed to do. And when it came to court, obviously he had mental health issues. But at the same time, they said there is an element of this chatbot encouraging him. So, but you can't blame a chatbot because it wasn't programmed to do that. It was just programmed to respond to whatever you put into it.
Yeah.
And I think this is where we have to be mindful of, you can use these things maybe as a good soundboard, but just be careful, because there's such an epidemic as well of young people, sadly, suicide or self-harm through online resources.
Well, yeah, and like, leaving aside the AI, but like looking at Reels or TikToks and seeing one thing, and then it's just showing them more and more of the same thing, and it's encouraging them to do harm to themselves or to others.
If you're not in a good place mentally, yeah.
Or if you're a child, if someone not able to, they're vulnerable.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of vulnerable, and this is where I think we can all be vulnerable mentally at some point in our lives. And this is where like the spiraling, the change and everything. And I think this is why it's so important that you've got a trusted, safe someone that you can outlet to, whether it's about ideas or whatever. But it just highlights how our times are changing with technology and how you manage your thoughts. Mm. Because sometimes, they can be a lot. And especially I just struggle so much with change, because if I'm not in that habit or that momentum, it's trying to get into that habit and momentum. And it's so, again, you're just constantly and being in your head all the time, it can be a bit much.
The thing for me is, like I say, starting it. Sometimes I am agonising over starting something that I know isn't going to take that long. But if you're lacking that, it's
mental energy.
Yeah, and it's the executive function that's what we struggle with. That's literally what the essence of ADHD is. It's struggling to make those decisions. And the task initiation can be so painful. It can be like just knowing that you need to do something, understanding it won't take that long, but you just can't start it. That is a real hard thing. I think that is a number of ADHD.
I find I will think about something, and I've thought about it so much, it feels like I've done it 50 times. So then I'm like, oh God, I still have to actually do it in real life, even though in my head I've done this damn thing like so much, and I've overthought it, and I'm exhausted from thinking about it. But I haven't achieved anything because I haven't done it, and I still need to do it. But I'm now bored of it because I've overthought.
Oh yeah, you can get to the point where you're just so into it. You're so in your head, you can't even. Yeah. Something I find useful is using like a project board and just using different boxes. I can move them around. I'm quite visual, and I can kind of break things down, and I can quite easily see. I can discard something. Almost like I need to break down a large task into lots of components. And there's some software called Goblin Tools.
Oh,
and you can put in, this is really helpful actually. Say you want to clean your lounge, okay? And that's quite a big thing to do without breaking it down. So you put it into Goblin Tools. I want to clean my room, and it will break it down into as many different steps as you need. And when you see it all broken down into just to the level of go and fetch the vacuum cleaner from the cupboard, remove the items off the table so I can dust the table, and it breaks it down, and you can start ticking off those little.
So mini tasks. You've done a lot, even though you've I've done quite a few things in a few minutes, but it's a lot when you start. Yeah.
So I think a typical person might just think, I've got to clean the lounge, I'll just do it. We don't think like that. We are paralysed by starting it and knowing how to do it. So if we're talking about, change, I think it's really helpful for me to break down what it is do for and against this. And like I say, I use these boards and I move things around, and it just helps me to get a bit of clarity because we do think in much more detail.
Because I will think, I need to clean that. Okay, what's on that? Oh, but there's the plates there, which then need to go into the dishwasher. So I need to go into the kitchen because I need to, and actually the cleaning fluid is in the kitchen. So if I go, and so this is where my brain starts already collaborating. And then I'm like overwhelmed. Oh, but I also need to do that. Oh, and then there's already the washing in the washing machine. And but wait a minute. And there's that. So this is where my brain then gets, I feel flooded
by, I need to replace that. And then I haven't got enough money to replace it. So I need to get some money from someone to buy. And I think this is going on all the time in our brains. And I think once you realise, once you put this into this Goblin Tools or something, and it breaks it down, you're like, okay, that's why I'm overwhelmed, because this has about 30 steps, but I can do 2 of them. Now or whatever. But you talking about getting distracted by side quests is such a thing. It's like the typical thing of getting the washing out the machine, and it's like, I started doing that, but then I got distracted by the other jobs I hadn't done. It's just such a thing. So it's so easier just to not do it, and then we just feel shame
and then
because
it
we're not doing
piles up. And then you're like, oh my God, this has now become a much bigger thing, and it can be paralysing. And I think that's where it's the change of, at the moment, with my sleep, it's like, okay, I've now at least got one tip, because in the morning when I get up, I feel I've got a bit more mental energy because I've had that extra sleep. But it was funny because I was online, you start looking at things and then you spiral down a hole. And they called this thing called sleep hacking. And I was like, this sounds fabulous. And so more energy, more this, more that, more focus, more. And I'm like, this, I need it. More passion, more energy. And I'm like, this is what I need. Oh my God, sleep hacking. I need to do this. Like, what is this sleep hacking? So I read this, like, whatever and I'm like, all it was go to bed 3 hours before you normally do. And I'm like, well, this isn't sleep hacking. It's just going 3 hours before you normally go to bed.
It doesn't really work.
But they called it sleep hacking. But I was like, it just, something in me was like, no, whatever you call it, you need to do it. So I was like, okay, I didn't go 3 hours before bed, but I did go earlier. And it was just like, right, okay. And sometimes I don't know what it is, that little spark, because I should have done this a long, long time ago. And it wasn't, I think it was maybe the hilarity of what they called it, sleep hacking, I'll go to bed early, that maybe that just ignited that spark in me of whatever you call it, just do it. And actually, it's not just having that thought, it's actually following through.
I think sometimes as well, because we know we can get, so the other side of not doing anything, of being in paralysis, is hyper-focusing so much you can't do anything else, you forget to eat. I think we're so acutely aware that if we do start something, it might end up like 16 hours later, we still haven't been to the toilet.
Yeah.
Because it goes from one extreme of like the hyper-focus, it's all I can think about, or nothing at all.
Yeah.
And I think that, and sometimes I don't want to go to sleep because I've got so many ideas.
Yes.
And I'm like, but I might have the idea. I might have the one idea that's going to make me a millionaire tomorrow.
Another business that
I just don't know.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is called revenge insomnia.
Yeah.
You're fighting against it. I don't want to go to sleep because, this might be my time when my brain is working really well. And
it's peak.
It could have some fantastic ideas. And all I can say to that is, just sometimes going out, go for a walk, just anything to change your environment. So change doesn't have to be massive. It can just be like moving out of the room, out of the environment. Just move. Just get out of where you are. And that can then kickstart something else.
Yes, because I find like if I go for a nice walk, my brain is then buzzing of, story ideas and book ideas, and it's a bit fresher. It's like it's refreshed, and it needed that, like a change in seasons where it's like, right, we've now moved on, and this is what you need. Because the change for me is, and I feel sometimes a lot of the time, neurotypicals can get stuck in jobs, in whatever, because they're so used to the habit and that change of, well, I know this isn't great, but it's better than the unknown.
And I think sometimes you can be scared of change as an ADHD because you've
it looks
got
like a big thing. It's the unknown. It's that big unknown of, well, what anything could happen. Because again, your brain goes into so many areas of, well, what if this, and you catastrophize.
Because we do struggle so much with like the environment. So it's like, oh my God, am I going into this? Is it going to be worse? Comes down to having that sort of, a backup basically, a plan B. It's okay to have a plan B, an escape route, if you like. But I think the best thing to do is to just move.
Yeah.
Shake it off.
Shake it off. That is, and I find that's when I've
just kickstart that sort of get rid of that analysis paralysis.
Yeah, because I find in winter that, we both talked how much we struggled in winter. It was just, you couldn't go out, you couldn't do anything. And I think in those moments, that's why the spring is, I wouldn't say here, but it's winked at us.
I would say it's teasing us.
It's teasing us, yeah.
Hello.
I
think tomorrow it's back to rain.
Oh, no, don't
But today is just
make the most
amazing.
of it. Yeah. Make the most of it. Get out, get some radiation. And I think that little thing like the weather can give you a springboard of, you've got a little something, a little nudge in the right direction. And maybe just think, what's a little nudge that you could do that's kind of puts you on that. You might not complete it. You might just get something little out of the way, but anything is progress. Even a little tiny thing like anything is progress. Doesn't matter how little it is or insignificant or whatever. It's just giving, because then you never know, that might then lead to the next day you doing like, I've had that yesterday. I've now got this today. And then what comes after that? It's trying to get into that new momentum, that new habit, that new something where you're like, oh, I know I should do this, but I haven't done it in a long time, or I've never done it, or it's something, different. And it's trying to think that way of, no, I can do this. And it's that, not exactly belief in yourself, but it is that little thing of like, no, I can do this. Because some of the, when I'm writing, at the moment, I'm torn between two ideas for a new book. I know. And they both to me sound good.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm now stuck. Well, which one's better? Which one would the reader like more? So it's so easy to be that stuck where you're like, well, I don't know which is right because what is right? And then again, my brain starts spiraling into so many different areas. So I think at the moment I've just let it rest, because I find if I come back to it a week later with fresh eyes and a fresh brain, I will hopefully make a decision on, actually, now that I've had time to let it settle, I can look over it and go, actually, this one's stronger. This is a better story. And I think readers will connect to it hopefully better. But I need that time away from it.
We can go in all in to something and be so passionate about it that it's really hard to step away from it and take that view further back. But it's
that
really
bird's eye view.
That's when you have to do it. That's when it's really critical, because we can be so... You can't think your way out of these problems and the decisions you have to make. So that's when you have to step away, because we can get so quagmired in it.
Almost obsession.
Yeah. It's that hyperfocus of, I'm not going to eat for 3 days because I've got to finish this thing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's going to be the best thing ever. But yeah.
Why am I a shriveled up prune now? Oh yeah, I haven't drunk anything. I haven't seen sunlight. I haven't left my house. Why am I depressed? Yeah.
It's that passion, and I don't think... Yeah, I think it's something that typical might not understand, but it's that immense passion. We go all in.
Yeah.
And then also, I think partly for me anyway, it's like I might lose that momentum.
Yes.
I might lose that passion. So if I just keep going, but then you get in a muddle where you're overtired, you're overstimulated, you're knackered, and you haven't eaten.
You've worn everything out, and you're just like, why am I like this? Until the cycle starts again. So, yes. And we've reached towards the end now. We're going to go into the no shame zone, where we share what's something that we'd be really shameful of, but now we're a lot kinder to ourselves. And for me, it is my writing. I've written for years, and I'd write it and think, okay, and then I'd read books, and that person's words were so, immersive, and I was like, oh my God, this is brilliant. And I'd look at my writing and just go, oh, mine's not good enough. I can't do anything with this because it's not as good as this person's writing. Then I'd read another book and I'd be like, oh my God, this is great. And again, my writing is not up to that standard in my mind. So now I am going to, be releasing my work and just kind of go, hopefully my readers will enjoy it. And I'm just going to be kinder of, everyone has different writing styles and ways of writing. And I'm just going to put myself out there, where previously it would be like, no, I can't do that because I'm not good enough. Now it's like, okay, I'm not good enough, but I'm still putting my work out there and just putting it, just doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's fine. What about you, Claire?
My fluctuating energy level, social battery. So I can feel very energized, very chatty. I can be very much okay in a group. I'm still masking and it's still a strain, but I can maintain this for a certain length of time. And then I will completely reach the end of my social battery. But instead of it fading slowly, it's like it's stopped.
It goes to zero.
It's just like switched off, and it's like, oh God, I need to leave now. And it feels extreme. It goes from, I'm making jokes, I'm chatty, I'm really happy, everything's working well, I'm on fire, and then it's just dropped off. And it is a bit shameful, because I think, well, you started off all right. What's happened to you? Why is there no tail off? It's just suddenly gone. And I realise it's because I'm putting a tremendous effort into being in the social environment or chatting, whatever. And then it's like, no, it's gone. It's just sort of gone offline. My brain's gone offline and I need to go now. It's almost like, Cinderella.
Yeah.
It's midnight. I've got to go. And yeah, that has felt very hard to understand in the past. And people have noticed it, like, why did you leave? What was going on? Why did you suddenly stop talking? And yeah, it just feels like, again, it comes back to, it's like people have interpreted it being rude. And it's like, no, it's just, I have used up all of my battery, and it now needs recharging. Yeah. But now I realise I do it, and like I say, brain's just gone. need to restore factory settings.
Recharge,
Yeah.
refresh. That's good. It's good that you've recognised that now, and you can just go, "Oh, it's fine. It happens."
Like I've got nothing more to say until I rest.
So yeah, like, go home, lay down in a dark room.
Yeah, or even just
get away from that environment.
Just get away from that environment. Yeah, and those people, I'll suddenly be bored. I think that's what it is. I'm suddenly like, I'm bored of these people. They have just been talking at me, and I've been putting on this front. I can do this. No, it's
Can't
gone.
do it anymore. Yeah,
brain's gone. I need to get out. I need to go somewhere now.
Oh, it's good that you recognise it, though.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's healthy as well, of recognising and going, yeah, this is what happens.
Well, yeah, some people might be able to maintain it longer, but they're not in touch with what's going on in their energy. And then one day they're like, why am I so wasted? They haven't really
in
realised.
a little padded room. And how did I get in here?
Rocking back and forth.
Yes. Oh, well, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.